So now we are at round 2 of President Trump's travel ban executive order. It will take effect in 9 days. It'll have some key updates that the White House hopes will fend off some of the legal challenges that we saw with the first order. That includes removing Iraq from the list of banned countries, making legal residents and visa holders exempt from new rules, lifting a blanket ban on Syrian refugees, and taking away priority status for religious minorities. All right. We are joined by Laura Coates. She's a CNN legal analyst and former federal prosecutor, and I just like to talk to her. So that's why we figured you'd be like a really good person to have on, right? If we like talking to each other. I'm curious.
All I want is pancakes, though, right now.
I know, that's the problem, right? Now you can't think any, you're like travel pancakes, executive order, what? Let's talk about this travel ban in terms of this version. Do you think it's going to resolve some of those real issues, legal concerns that we saw in the first iteration?
Honestly, yes. Now, resolving the legal concerns is almost because they had a Ninth Circuit blueprint for what the courts really wanted to see. They said you couldn't really have a minority religion preference or any religious preference because we have that establishment clause that says the United States does not prefer or promote any religion. You've got the due process issue a little bit resolved because you have visa holders and green card holders who are exempt, and you have justification. But having those sort of things tied up in a bow does not mean there won't be lawsuits. Expect many more lawsuits still. But now the uphill battle is going to be reversed. The challenge beyond people saying, why is the national security justification not enough right now? Whereas before, Trump was on the defensive.
Right. You mentioned the lawsuits. The White House is still dealing with lawsuits from the first plan. Do you really feel that this could end up in legal, I don't know, legal territory again?
Well, the second ban that he's now promoted is in place at this point in time to be effect next week. But he hasn't yet dropped the previous ban in its entirety in those actual cases. But really the issue here is really this. There are people who are still going to claim that this is a pretext for a Muslim ban. And the justifications that they've now given for these 6 countries to be in place is really just about trying to dress up a pig and put lipstick on it, when in fact it still is a problem. But that's a harder argument to make now because remember, the court was saying, listen, the President of the United States does get the deference we need to actually promote and secure national security. But that's not a carte blanche, and you can't make a bald assertion of national security. You got to back it up. And so now he's tried to back it up. The problem with the backing of it up, however, is that what he's given justifications don't necessarily hold a whole lot of water. He said 300 people in this country who came as refugees are now being investigated for terrorist activities. Yeah. Well, are those from those 6 countries? Were they refugees as children or as adults? Where were they radicalized? It may not go as far as the courts want it to go to actually justify what the campaign rhetoric said was going to be a Muslim ban.
Yeah, the Homeland Security Chief, John Kelly, it kind of tight-lipped on where those people, those 300 individuals you mentioned, where they're from. All right, well, I love talking to you, and it's really good to have your sense of this. Again, a former federal prosecutor. She knows some things, people. Thanks for joining us, Laura.
Thank you. Take care.